The United States of America under the President Biden honoring international anti-corruption champions. Here are the following. Number 1, Ardian Dvorani from Albania, judge and member of the Justice Appointments Council, is a key proponent of reforming Albania's judicial system. Judge Dvorani developed mechanisms to reduce political and criminal influence in the justice system, steps that contributed to the EU's decision in March to open negotiations for Albania's accession. Judge Dvorani was also an essential member of the group of experts who developed the vision and legal provisions for Albania's justice reform, helping to combat corruption and protect Albania's nascent judicial institutions after sweeping constitutional changes to Albania's justice sector in 2016. His insight led to constitutional protections for Albania's new anti-corruption body, the Special Structure Against Organized Crime and Corruption. Number 2, Diana Salazar, Ecuador's Attorney General, prosecuted some of the Andean region's highest-profile corruption cases, demonstrably improved the anti-corruption atmosphere in Ecuador, and served as a hero to judges, lawyers, and prosecutors throughout South America. Salazar's courageous actions in tackling these cases have made immense contributions to transparency and the rule of law in Ecuador. Number 3, Sophia Pretrick, Investigative Advisor for the Compliance Investigation Division of the PNP State Auditor of the Federated States of Micronesia, FSM, almost single-handedly raised the profile of anti-corruption activities in the FSM through her unique blend of government intervention and grassroots advocacy. In 2009, Pretrick developed and launched the Fraud Awareness Program, a public awareness and education program with outreach to government officials, employees, schools, women and girls, NGOs, and the general public. The program includes activities to promote the values and benefits of the public auditors' offices and their role in anti-fraud and anti-corruption work. In March 2019, Pretrick and the Office of the PNP State Public Auditor teamed up with Youth for Change, an NGO that addresses concerns such as health, teen pregnancy, and anti-corruption activities. The resulting pop song has been played on local radio for over 18 months and reached thousands of youth with its message about the role each person plays in fighting corruption. Number 4, Juan Francisco Sandoval Alfaro, Chief of the Special Prosecutor's Office Against Corruption and Impunity in Guatemala, has succeeded in battling persistent and systemic corruption in Guatemala. He was instrumental in the investigation and conviction of former President Alfonso Portillo and 2 ministers on charges relating to money laundering and the embezzlement of $15 million. Mr. Sandoval has been subject to threats and attempts to tarnish his reputation as a result of his work. Number 5, Ibrahima Kalil Gueye of Guinea is the chair and co-founder of the Organization for Positive Change, an NGO focusing on good governance, peace, and education. He combats corruption by ensuring transparency, educating the public on official fees for government services and national and citizen budget allocations. As coordinator of the National Marathon of Governance, he traveled 5,500 kilometers over mostly dirt roads in 43 days to share information with almost 2,300 fellow citizens about their rights and legal options. Mr. Kalil is also a winner of the 2020 Mandela Washington Fellowship Leadership Impact Award, a United Nations Young Peacebuilder in West Africa, and a European Commission One Young World Ambassador Scholar. Number 6, Anjali Bhardwaj has served as an active member of the Right to Information movement in India for over 2 decades. She is also the founder of Sadark Nagrik Sangathan, SNS, a citizens group with a mandate to promote transparency and accountability in government and encourage active participation of citizens. Under her leadership, SNS created legislative report cards that track the performance of representatives across a series of categories, defining roles and responsibilities in their capacity as public servants. Additionally, Bhardwaj is a convener of the National Campaign for People's Right to Information, which successfully advocated for the creation of an anti-corruption ombudsman and the Whistleblowers Protection Act, offering protection to those who expose corruption and abuse of power. Number 7, Dhuha Mohammed, Director General for Electronic Payments at the Central Bank of Iraq, has prevented payroll fraud by working to make Iraq's payroll system more transparent. Starting in 2017, she designed and led a Central Bank of Iraq initiative to establish a countrywide credit card infrastructure that facilitates e-payments. These digitized payments establish for the first time an auditable trail, enabling the government of Iraq to carry out the difficult but critical ongoing mission of purging ghost workers from its payrolls. In a country where exposing corruption can risk death threats and violence, Ms. Mohammed remains committed to principles of integrity and has weathered repeated attacks on her character. Number 8, Bolot Temirov, investigative journalist and editor-in-chief of FactCheck.kg, is one of the most effective and influential anti-corruption advocates in the Kyrgyz Republic. For more than a decade, his investigative reporting has helped to expose corruption in the public and private sectors. As chief editor of FactCheck.kg, he directed the publication of a series of reports on individuals involved in a large-scale international money laundering and smuggling operation. As a result of his work, political leaders were forced to acknowledge the extent of endemic corruption to an unprecedented degree. Number 9, Mustafa Abdullah Sanalla, chairman of Libya's National Oil Corporation, played an integral role in protecting Libya's natural resources, the country's economic lifeline, from predatory internal and external actors during waves of conflict. While leading the National Oil Corporation, he has dedicated himself to ensuring that Libya's oil continues to generate revenue for the benefit of all Libyans. Number 10, Victor Sotto, mayor of Pasig, the Philippines, is a standard-bearer for a new generation of Philippine politicians who prioritize anti-corruption and transparency initiatives in their election campaigns and in office. In 2019, Sotto, then a 29-year-old city councillor, defeated an incumbent mayor whose family had ruled the city for 27 years. Sotto's prior work on the city council resulted in freedom of information legislation that allowed city residents to request documents without having to provide a justification, the first such law in the Metro Manila area. Sotto has sought to solidify his reputation as a fresh voice with a new, more transparent approach to governance. He pledged to avoid any kickbacks in the awarding of city contracts, established a 24/7 public information and complaints hotline, formally involved civil society organizations in the city's budgeting and policy making, and mandated that the value of all city government contracts be reduced by at least 10%, a measure intended to reduce bribery in the contract awarding process. Number 11, Francis Ben Kaifala has demonstrated strong leadership as the Commissioner of Sierra Leone's Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, which has implemented a comprehensive anti-corruption strategy resulting in investigations, prosecutions, and convictions of public officials from both the
Number
current
11.
Francis Ben Kaifala has demonstrated strong leadership as the Commissioner of Sierra Leone's Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, which has implemented a comprehensive anti-corruption strategy resulting in investigations, prosecutions, and convictions of public officials from both the current Sierra Leone People's Party administration and the previous All People's Congress-led government. The ACC has also seized a significant amount of stolen assets, including money, property, and vehicles, and returned them to the government for legitimate public purposes. Under Kaifala's leadership, in 2019 the ACC spearheaded a successful effort to amend and strengthen Sierra Leone's anti-corruption law. Coinciding with Kaifala's tenure, Sierra Leone has steadily improved in global corruption indices, including those of Transparency International, up 10 places in 2019 from its 2018 ranking, and the Afrobarometer, a measure of public confidence in anti-corruption efforts, up 26% from 2018.
Number
12, Ruslan Ryaboshabka pioneered the restructuring of the prosecutorial service in Ukraine's Prosecutor General's office, embarking upon an innovative process to recertify Ukraine's thousands of public prosecutors and dismiss those deemed corrupt or ineffectual. The initiative has continued under his successor, despite constant attacks by vested interests. Ryaboshabka's vetting procedures are considered by the international community to have been a critical first step in establishing the independence of the Ukrainian Office of the Prosecutor General. In previous government positions, he instituted legal frameworks that established Ukraine's anti-corruption infrastructure, leaving a powerful and enduring legacy that has strengthened Ukraine's ongoing fight against corruption. That's all from RDAB fam. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe.